Hey, we're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sports Med Bros podcast. It is April 19th, 2026, a very special Sunday matinee edition.
Sunday matinee, yeah.
As always, my name is Aaron Borgman. I am here with my good friend and co-host, Evan Kraft, live from Greenwood, Indiana, with a special guest today. Ev, who do we have?
We have a special guest co-host, Mr. Winston Kraft.
Yeah,
He's been
there he is.
homesick
Yep.
all weekend, so he's joining us today on the podcast, and hopefully we won't have to wrangle him too much, but he's been a good boy so far. So say
We'll
hi,
see.
Winston.
We'll
Hi.
see where this takes us.
Nope, he's trying to eat the microphone,
Eat the
so no
microphone.
hi.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, real quickly here, we know it's been a little while since we've been on scheduling conflicts, illnesses, things like that. We're busy, but we push her on just like good athletic trainers do. We do want to say thanks again to the last couple of interviews, Tyler Lesh, excuse me, um, Mike Stella. We have had some fantastic feedback and discourse. We want to say hello to all the new followers and listeners. Thank you guys for joining in with us.
yeah,
I thought they were great point of views. I thought they were good talking points. I think it's important issues that we needed to bring up for the profession and for the career. So we do thank them for having us or for coming on with us. Just in general, excuse me, we have a big event this upcoming week that, we've been a big part of the last, 2 decades of our life, the NFL draft. We're not going to get into
yeah.
any of the injuries. I just wanted to say that this is truly, truly lying season. Um, take your most devout, most religious person, coach or GM, and they are lying to the rest of the league right now
Yeah,
because that's what happens. Injuries are not covered up, but severity is hidden or discussed differently in different circumstances. So you're going to see and hear a lot of that kind of stuff this week.
yeah,
Most of it's not true or fabricated or embellished or whatever. And so I just think it's important that people know that, not to believe anything that you see or read or hear.
yeah.
Any
We will
any
not get into our disdain for the NFL draft in depth on this podcast because you and I both know, as many probably other NFL athletic trainers know, can sympathize with that. So,
Well, just real quickly, it's such a laborious task for the medical
yeah,
staff, and quite
yeah,
frankly, a very important task. But there is so much superfluous stuff that I think you and I would both agree that the fat could probably be trimmed quite a bit and still have a fantastic outcome,
yeah,
and get you to point A, regardless of how much work you actually do. But
yeah, yeah,
thoughts for another day, perhaps.
yeah,
But that's it happening this week. So for those that love to partake in that, we wish you good watching. I kind of stopped watching the draft years ago. I've just got better things to do on a Thursday night. We will actually be recording an episode with a very special guest Thursday night.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it might be on here in the office, but I'm not going to pay that much attention to it. So
It will not
uh,
be on in any room in my house, just so you know.
guess what? Despite who watches, the picks will still be there the next day.
They will be. Yep,
So
100%.
we're going to get into a little bit of discussion of injury of the week, and I couldn't really find anything over the last couple of weeks that piqued my interest, other than the fact that your friend, your ex college, not roommate or anything like that, but you share
No.
a university with this one, Joel Embiid, Ev. Is out with appendicitis. I am not an NBA follower. You probably follow closer than I do. I do know that Joel Embiid, as phenomenal as a player as he is, has now missed more games than he has played in his NBA career.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up, and not to pick on Joel himself, or Joel, however it is pronounced, but you and I, in a case of our careers, have both seen athletes that are quote unquote injury prone.
Yeah.
Now, that means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So I thought we could just unpack that just a little bit. I think there's a larger discussion on players that just cannot stay healthy at the professional level. And I'm going to turn it over to you here in a second. But I think this can mean a lot of things to a lot of people because
Hmm.
some players genuinely don't take great care of themselves. But
Yeah.
then again, some do. And the rigors of the professional aspect of the sport, their bodies just can't hold up to that. Have you ever encountered? I know you have, but could you please give us some examples, no names, obviously, of players that you've encountered with this quote unquote injury prone moniker?
Yeah, it's a little different, I think, in football because they play so many less games,
Mhm.
and that pressure from above is usually there.
Sure.
And I mean, obviously, you have guys that are always in the training room, like they're always there, but they will still go play, right?
Big difference.
They'll still practice, they'll still play on Sunday. That's a huge difference. Um, for this young man, I'm not sure what. I mean, I've never seen how many. I'm sure he's missed a ton of. If he's missed a ton of games, he's probably missed a ton of practices too. But at some point, you have to consider, is the juice worth the squeeze? And fortunately for him, he's a highly, highly, highly talented guy and a
Sure.
highly productive player when he is available. But at the end of the day, like that ratio is really, really bad. And it's a bad look on your career, honestly. Now, teams in the NBA may look at that differently than teams in the NFL would look at that. Teams in the NFL are going to see that and go, "Oh no, not a chance."
Yeah.
Like if he's not there, he's not. We're not taking a risk on that.
Well, I think you make a great point about the differences in games played as
Yeah,
well. And so therefore they matter more.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know if the Sixers are in the playoffs. I haven't watched any basketball. I
The only reason I
apologize.
know the Sixers are in the playoffs, or at least the play-in portion of the playoffs, is because I opened the DraftKings app today
Okay.
to look and see if there's anything desirable to sprinkle a little bit of something on. But
Yeah,
that's the only
yeah.
reason I know. I think they are.
Okay. So,
I have
if they
no
do
idea
make
if he's playing or not.
yeah, if they do make a run, then potentially he could be available for that. But it's just a concerning thing, from a medical standpoint. You look at that and you go, like that's not. Do we want that around? Do we want to keep doing that? Do we want to keep paying this guy if he's not gonna play? I'm not sure what his availability was last year in the playoffs, if they even made the playoffs. I'm as akin to the NBA as you are. So, um,
At least you
outside
live
of
in
the
an NBA
Pacers.
town, though. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of a red flag, I think. But I mean, the kid's made enough money in his career; he could probably retire right now and just go disappear somewhere. So, I
Well, I
mean,
think it's an interesting point that you bring up because, you're talking about going from college basketball to the pros, right? You're talking
yeah,
35 games to 82 games.
yeah,
In the NFL, you're talking about 12 or 13 games as it used to be, now 14, 15, 16 with the playoffs
yeah,
to, again, 20, 21 soon if you count all the games that they're going to have in the NFL. And it's at a
yeah,
higher level, it's at an increased pace. And I can recall a specific case of a defensive lineman who came out of college for us early in my career, where I mean, he looked like the guy, like physical. And he was a great kid. He worked his butt off. And we're not talking management of soft tissue injuries here. We're talking like broken bones, dislocated joints. Like he
yeah,
just could not get over the hump for sustained on field action. And when he did, he played very well.
yeah.
It's just that his body was not taking to the constant wear and tear of the NFL. And some
Hmm.
people, for whatever reason, I don't know if you forecast that person 20 years forward because the demand is a lot less for practice and play. If he would have made it a little bit longer, I don't know. And that I think it needs to be separated out to your point about the differences between people who suffer chronic, traumatic stuff versus a guy that's in the athletic training room for chronic hamstring strains
Right,
or
right.
soft tissue injuries and things like this that feel like they could be managed or mitigated a bit better sometimes than what they are.
Yeah,
So I think there's a dividing line there, and I'm pretty quick to label certain individuals injury prone, but my definition is probably different than a lot of other people's.
yeah,
I don't like the managed care conditions to be out there a lot. Like I said, the soft tissue stuff. If you're constantly getting trauma, you know, or medical stuff, like that's something that we can't really control as athletic
right.
trainers or
Yeah.
sports medicine people.
Appendicitis,
Yeah,
case
we're
in
not
point.
we're not
Yeah,
controlling that. Have you ever rehabbed somebody from appendicitis, by the way?
I have. Yeah,
Yeah, same.
pretty simple.
Yeah,
Uh,
just, wound care, get them back conditioned, that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah,
So, interesting discussion. I would love to hear everybody else's definition of injury prone because I'm sure it's a very subjective thing based upon the sports that you may work with. I think in our case, we would probably label it more. soft tissue management type
Yeah.
related stuff.
Yeah.
When you see that, and you and I have both known these players that they just they don't ever do enough or they don't get over the hump enough and so on and so forth. And we're going to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about hamstrings here moving forward, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring up that topic today. I thought it was an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Moving forward on our in and out of the week segment. By the way, this is our first like regular show in a while. I kind of had to
Yeah. It
remember
is.
our
Yeah.
format for a second. Ev, uh, gosh, I could not be more out on this topic. Calvin Russell is a very highly touted wide receiver for Syracuse University. Unfortunately for Calvin, he had torn his Achilles earlier in the spring slash winter, I believe.
Yeah.
And, still in the early phases, I saw him in a boot. So, he's pretty early on yet. Spring football practice has started, as you well know. You once worked in it. Interestingly enough, this wide receiver was in full pads, in a boot, with a helmet, a guardian cap, pads, the whole thing, on a scooter at practice on the practice field in pass catching lines, Ev.
Yeah.
Now, I understand having a guy around if he means something to your team. I understand, team morale and all those sorts of things. I, you can't make me understand this one. It is ridiculous. It is absurd. It's a danger
Yeah.
to other people on the field. It is a publicity stunt. It is a rah-rah thing. I can't see how this was okay. Please go off, King.
Yeah. A lot to unpack here. And I've heard a lot of differing opinions on social media.
Was there?
Yeah. There was some supporting opinions,
Oh my
believe it or
goodness.
not. There is a way to get this kind of work without that kind of fluff. And if you're a head coach, if you're a medical staff, there's a way to motivate guys and inspire them when they're not around. That you can keep them in meetings, keep them in all that stuff, keep them in everything. There is zero reason to have a guy on the field unless he's off to the side in
Yeah,
full
way,
pads.
way, way off to the side.
Like there's you can do catching drill if you want to put them in shoulder pads and have them catch a ball. Perfect, that's fine. It doesn't need to be while spring practice is going on in the bubble with everybody running around. I think just from you and I see it differently from a safety standpoint, and
I don't think
obviously from
so. Oh, you
well, I
mean
mean
between us? Yeah, 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 yeah,
between us, yeah,
yeah.
and from a you know, heaven forbid somebody run on the sideline and knock him down off the scooter and he re-tears it. Like, I mean, there's so
Or
many
he hurts
factors.
somebody else.
Or he hurts somebody else, right? Or somebody else tears an Achilles stepping on the scooter when they're trying to jump over him. Who knows? There's a multitude of factors that go into it, but there's so many things that you can do to manage and mitigate this situation that doesn't involve him being out there on a scooter
Man,
in full pads with a guardian cap on. Nonetheless, heaven forbid he get a concussion while he's out there catching passes. But the whole thing, just all the way around, is out of control. It's out
bad,
of
bad,
control.
bad stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say this was coach induced.
I'm sure it was. Yeah,
And the medical staff tried to fight it probably, and the coach wanted him out there. That's just
especially
that's
during spring ball. Like what? I mean, that's a waste of time already. So what are we doing? Like,
no, just no.
yeah,
The next thing I am out on for the week, Ev. This came from BRICS Bricks News on X. China, one of your favorite countries, is
yes,
hosting a human versus robot marathon on August 19th. So that's a week from today, Ev. No, that is today. Shoot, that is today. That's happening
April.
right.
You said August,
Oh,
April
April
19th.
19th. Yes.
Yeah,
That's happening today in Beijing, China. I sent you over the link, or the picture at least. There's like these robots that are racing humans in China on a marathon. The only thing I have to say to this is, Ev, I believe Skynet is coming. I think the future is nigh. I believe that this is a situation where real people are probably going to get hurt. I think that these athletes are going to go. It's a giant publicity stunt, clearly. But how do you feel about robots versus humans in an upcoming marathon today, which is probably already over since it's the 19th there?
Yeah. Well, we already said in the notes like Skynet. I
Yeah.
mean, what are we doing here? We've seen this
We've
movie
seen this
before.
movie before, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
So I just hope that everybody was safe and nobody got trampled by robots
we'll have
in the
to we'll
process.
have to monitor this and follow up on this next week. Okay, moving on. Just real quickly, all the way in, real quickly. Baseball season is back. I'm a gigantic baseball fan, as you know. You are a very fair weather Royals fan, and we have gone round and round about that for years. But Ev, baseball closer intros are at an all-time high.
I
I
love it.
know that I keep forwarding you on Mason Miller, the closer for the Padres
Yeah.
intro,
Love
because
it.
he comes into corn. Edwin Diaz of the Dodgers comes into this trumpet song. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. Ryan Helsley of the Orioles comes into Hell's Bells. So all the way in, Ev, on baseball closer intros,
Yeah.
especially with the light shows.
Korn actually gifted Mason Miller like a bunch of swag
Oh,
for
that's
doing that.
awesome.
I saw it in on a post. Like his locker was all done up with like Korn swag. So that was really cool.
That's
I'm all
phenomenal.
in for it too. I love it.
Ev, one other thing that I've said that I was out on. We've been having conversations about it. We've been talking to trusted individuals about it. A lot of news this week on the Jackson Smith and Jigba situation. He went on a podcast and alleged that he was wearing a shoe size that was 1.5 shoe sizes too large for him in college. He says he was a 12. He got measured now with the Seahawks as a 10.5, and that has led to decreased hamstring injuries with proper shoe sizing. This obviously got picked up and aggregated all over the place for better or for worse. I have lots of thoughts on this, and I'm going to let you speak on it first. But first of all, let me just say, like, how does somebody get missized in this day and age?
Yeah.
Sizing for feet is very simple. So I have questions about that. There was a report from a strength coach at Ohio State that the story was fabricated. He was actually sized correctly. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here. You go ahead first.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, in today's day and age, I think that Ohio State probably has a great way to scan feet because most NFL teams have a foot scanner. And I would assume that Ohio State, being the program that they are, has a foot scanner. I highly, highly doubt that there is. I would love to see the data. Did anybody post any studies on foot size versus hamstring
I
strain?
have seen none posted. I
Yeah.
have a request out for some. I
Okay.
think that would be something that you would be really hard pressed to control for and
Yeah.
test. And even if you did, it would be straight line linear speed, not something that you could test on a football field with running and cutting and such like
Yeah.
that, especially at the wide receiver position. But please go ahead.
No, I just I think it was, I mean, I don't think there's any correlation there. I think it has a lot to do with we have discussed this at ad nauseum on the podcast of what causes it, what are the factors, and I don't think shoe size is one of those things. And if it is, it's a tiny, 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 tiny minutia of detail and data that would affect that. I don't think that it's I think it's a nothing burger in your words.
Okay, so shoe sizes by and large are very small measurements, even when you get down to
Yeah.
the half sizes, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking not inches, we're talking centimeters. And so, yes, if your shoe is missized, you are going to have a difference. I get all that. I can buy all that. And I understand lever arms and biomechanics, and I understand overstriding. And I had a great conversation with an individual who is a track physical therapist, heavy track background. Shout out to Brendan Thompson. And he brought some points to mind that I was interested in, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. I just need more information, right? And I understand that it could be small changes over very long periods of time that add up. I got it. I just don't think in a very uncontrolled environment that you're going to see a whole lot of this perfect gait cycle that would be required for the overstriding concept to put more stress on the hamstring over time because football is a very uncontrolled environment. You're stopping, you're going, you're cutting, you're slanting, you're putting pressure on all kinds of stuff. So let's just say it was true that he was missized, and that's the case. Let's say, for instance, that he ran, a bunch of straight line stuff during training. Let's say all of those factors are true. Do we think that the forces produced by those small, slightly changed lever arms over very small distances are enough to add up to chronic hamstring problems? To your point, maybe. And if it is the smallest piece of the pie out of all the other things that are included, including hydration, sleep, nutrition, training load, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Could it possibly be a factor? I cannot say no. Do I think it should be the factor that it was built up to be this week in the media? I do not. That's
No.
my opinion. I will gladly retract my statements if there is evidence to the otherwise. I just don't know how you're ever going to prove it because football is such a chaotic environment to test anything. So no one's going to ever be able to test that. So I just kind of think it's a lazy, easy correlation. And it was a talking point that was thrown out on a podcast. And the
Yeah.
media does what the media does, and they run with it, and hyperbole ensues. And that's what got us to this point. So,
Yep. I'm with you.
I think by and large, I'm just flat out on all of this thought process, but I'm happy to be proved wrong. So that's what we're in and out on for the week. The social sports med post of the week segment is next, and I had this really nice one pegged from Taylor Twellman. If anybody doesn't know who Taylor Twellman is, he is a former U.S. men's national team soccer player. He's a commentator for Apple Soccer. Great follow on all of the socials. There has been a rash of high level soccer players and Achilles injuries. And he picked one out from let's see, it looks like it is the Parisian League. No, excuse me. He's a French player. I'm not going to begin to pronounce his last name because I screw up names left and right. But that being said, he brought up a larger point. There's been several over the last couple of weeks, high level soccer players with Achilles injuries. And, I just kind of wanted to point out that we talk about it all the time in American sports and not that soccer is not American, but we see more in football. We see it more in basketball here. And again, international soccer has more travel than ever. These guys have less training time than ever, so on and so forth. And so you're starting to wonder if it's becoming more of a global sport problem than an isolated one sport, one situation problem, because now we're starting to see it across sports. Is it footwear? Is it surface? Sure, maybe, but those footwears and surfaces have generally been around for a very long time with some very minor modifications. The one thing that has changed is the increased travel, the increased demand, the less training time. So I'm still going to lean on that aspect of things if you ask me, Ev. Do you have any quick thoughts on Achilles in soccer going up?
I totally agree with you. I think, in all these international leagues, not only are they playing, I mean, you have the Champions League, and not only are they playing within their country, but they're traveling across Europe. They're traveling to Saudi Arabia. They're traveling to the Middle East. And it's tough, man. And they play so many. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think most people know about the game demands
Yeah,
of international soccer, like how many games they play in a season. It's year round. So
it's
it's an
crazy.
exhausting process. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just within their country. It's intercontinental, it's international, it's all those things. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrangle this baby right here, but
That's
that's my
okay.
point on that subject.
Well, and I think you make a good point. And they're starting to potentially get the schedule more consolidated for folks. I think that might help because the schedule right now, especially here locally, is just a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that helps. But I still would like to see more training time. with the teams, with the people that are invested in these individuals. And I think we're just getting less and less of that. I don't know if that's a good thing, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't have an answer. I just think it's filtering down to all aspects, all sports that we're expected to see. And, something's got to be done about it. But no one listens to us, right? We're just two dudes with a
No,
podcast.
that's right.
Speaking of traveling and speaking of going all over the place, one company that will send you stuff anywhere you're at, Ev, is the Cookie Society.
That is right.
How's that for a transition? Our
There we
good
go.
friends Jeff and Marissa Allen of Frisco, Texas, operate the Cookie Society. They are partners with our podcast. Ev, I don't know if you've had a chance to see the new spring flavors out there, but man, I picked up on them this week. We've got the cookies and cream milkshake. We've got the berry butter cake. We have the pecan chocolate chip, as always, the plain peanut butter, all kinds of new ones out there for them this quarter, I guess. I don't know exactly how often they switch them. They've got their staples, but those are the new spring offerings. Ev, Cookie Society, thank you for being a partner and
Oh yeah.
being a great friend of the program. The listeners of the program, as always, get a 10% off their entire order, shipped nationwide, by the way, for a very select menu of the things that I spoke of and a couple more. Sports Med Bros 10, that's all one word. Sports Med Bros, the number 10 at your order for a 10% off. And we are great friends of the Cookie Society and love their products. So we hope you do too.
Yep. I've
Uh,
got two munchkins right here that love cookies too. Come here,
well,
hello.
well,
Can
yeah.
you say hi? Can you say hi to Aaron?
Hi, it's good to see you. Um, I went to a event for my son's high school, and I got cookies yesterday, and my daughter was very upset that I didn't bring any home. So need to reorder some Cookie Society. So Ev, we had some submissions this week. For those that are not familiar or new to the program, we have a mailbag, mail hole, mail slot, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Thesportsmedbros at gmail.com. That's thesportsmedbros, all one word, at gmail.com, where we accept advice, questions, funny anecdotes, give us a story, make us laugh, tell us we're doing something wrong. This week, question from the mail device, whatever we're calling it these days. What is the most current interesting rehab you guys are doing? Go ahead.
I've got to think about that one
Okay.
because
Well, I'll let you think. I've got one on tap.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I was asked to come evaluate a previous client that I had seen for a different reason than what they had asked me to evaluate them for. The over text message, high level basketball player, also a D1 baseball player, D1 baseball pitcher, right-handed pitcher. That's going to be important. And he was told he had posterior tibial tendonitis. Unfortunately, posterior tibial tendonitis is kind of a catch-all thing for anything that's
Yeah,
like at the back side of the inside of the ankle, right? It's kind of the low back pain of the ankle, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah,
It gets blamed for a lot of things, and it's a pretty common diagnosis. So I go over to his house and I evaluate him, and he has pain only in weight bearing, no pain in open chain positions. He has no pain whatsoever under resisted testing of any direction in open chain. He has pain only in deep flexion at the base of his medial malleolus and kind of anterior, which is
yeah,
a little bit different location than where the posterior tibial tendon runs through, right?
yeah,
It's almost a little bit superior and anterior to where that posterior tibial tendon is.
yeah,
And I said, look, man, like I just really don't think that this is what it is. This seems more biomechanical. This seems more structural because you only have pain in weight bearing. If you have true posterior tibial tendonitis or really any tendonitis, it hurts in any position. It doesn't
yeah.
matter the position you're in. So I just said, hey, look, and luckily he had already gotten an MRI that day. We waited for the results. Turns out he has a very uncommon medial malleolar bone bruise from
Oh man.
basketball,
Whew.
right? Like this is just like this weirdest thing. Like you just don't see these. And because he is a right-handed pitcher and it's his right ankle and it's his right medial malleolus, every time he pitches from the bump, from the rubber, he
Yeah,
gaps that joint and he
yeah,
feels it because he's got a little bit of a deltoid signal as well.
yeah,
So we're trying to work him through this without shutting him down completely. He's already got a scholarship locked up, thankfully, so it's not like a situation where we have to rush it or anything. And he's doing very well. That's the most interesting thing I've seen in a long time, just because of those exact set of complications kind of stacking up
Yeah.
to kind of aggravate this. And he played through it in the state final basketball playoffs. So like, he's trying to like work around playing through it now. So it's a lot of management basically. But I thought that
Yeah.
was a really interesting case to bring to this question.
No, that's good. Those suck. Medial malleolar
I don't
bruises
know if I've ever
suck.
taken care of one.
They suck. It takes a long time. I mean, they just don't. I mean, just because of the weight bearing aspect, they
Yeah.
just don't. They take forever to get better. But I will jog you with one. I've got a baseball football player sprained his UCL in football season.
Elbow or thumb?
Elbow. I'm sorry, elbow UCL. Right-handed thrower. Pitcher plays infield a little bit. Just not getting better, as a thrower. Trying to play baseball with a UCL sprain is
Tough.
not good. So it kind of in the same boat as you, like managing your symptoms. Like you got to find that right arm slot. I don't want to try and modify his throwing motion, but like he's got to figure out how he can throw and do a throwing progression in that arm slot if he wants to play in a game. So obviously he's not pitching, but it's a tough situation because he plays the infield too. So he's got to, I mean, that
Yeah.
arm slot in the infield is,
All over the
depending
place.
on how you feel the ball, is all over the place. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of soft tissue management and trying to strengthen that forearm, strengthen the grip, strengthen the rotator cuff so he
Yeah.
can get in those positions to take that pain off his elbow. So that's kind of the most interesting one I have right now.
It's interesting with those UCL things. They have trouble throwing, but they don't have trouble batting. And
No,
so,
yeah,
like, he
batting's
could be a
easy.
DH, but I'm sure he wants to play the field as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And I don't know does Indiana require pitchers to hit?
You can
Do they have the
have
DH?
pitchers hit. You can have a DH, but you can't if your
Yeah,
pitcher can hit, then
sure.
they can hit. So
By the way, all pitchers should hit. The
I
DH is
agree.
disgusting.
I agree.
But It's an interesting case. I've seen a couple of those in the major leagues, not personally, but like you kind of follow along and people that can do that kind of thing. It's kind of akin to the whole Shohei Ohtani thing where they let him
Yeah,
bat, but they wouldn't let him pitch and they wouldn't let him play the field while he was recovering from his torn UCL.
yeah,
Managing those things it's tough, man, because it's like one step forward, one step back, two steps forward, one step back, one step forward, two steps
yeah,
back, that whole thing.
yeah.
And I think
It
it's
was
a
funny because I'm sorry to
no,
interrupt
no,
you.
go ahead.
I had a parent ask me the other day about, if they're a baseball player, you got to be more conservative. But if you're a football player, you can just go out and play. I was like, absolutely.
Yep,
I
yep.
said, yeah, just brace it up. And we let him go. I said, I had a D lineman that dislocated his elbow, and 6 weeks later, he was out there in a brace and he was playing. Like
Even
for a
quarterbacks
thrower,
play with torn UCLs as long as they can manage the symptoms and still
yeah,
get some zip on the ball.
yeah,
Brock Purdy had his UCL, but that was
yeah,
completely torn, right?
yeah,
And so it's an interesting, dichotomy there. Like any other
yeah,
sport, a basketball player plays through it, that kind of thing.
yeah.
Hockey players play through everything, but like a baseball player, they have to like throw. Especially, is he a left side of the infield or a right side of the infield guy, like a third baseman,
Uh,
shortstop?
right side, first base.
So he's a first baseman. Okay, well
Yeah,
that helps.
yeah,
So he's not throwing a ton.
yeah,
Interesting case.
yeah.
So no products to review this week. We kind of blew the wad a couple of weeks ago on that with my visit to the PFATS symposium. But Ev, this has brought us to free time as we start to land this plane here. What do you got going on right now, man? We haven't talked about free time lately.
Yeah. So I just cut the grass. I did a ton of yard work this morning. So that's done. I'm gonna
I
have to
bought a
go
new
out.
lawnmower this week.
Oh, what'd you get? Did you get a rider?
No, my yard's not big enough for that, but I got a
Oh shit.
really nice push mower.
That's good. That's good, man. But I have actually started tying my own fly fishing flies for money.
Yep.
So I've
Oh,
got orders coming through out the gills right now, literally.
I like
So
how you did that.
I've been on top of that.
Do you have
Just
your
had a
own Etsy shop?
it's a website called Check Your Flies. It's called the Blue Heron Fly Shop, actually.
That's
Blue Heron Fly
outstanding.
Shop here in Greenwood, Indiana. But I think I've had in the last 2 weeks, I've had one, two, three, 8 orders.
Well, tell the people where they can find this.
Yeah, checkyourflies.com. Look for Blue Heron Fly Shop if you're into fly fishing. I've got a couple up there. I'm still trying to backfill orders right now because I just got like an order for I think 12 or 16
How
at
long does
a
it take you
time.
to tie a fly?
20 minutes. So
I don't know anything about it, so you're teaching me all these new
yeah, yeah.
information.
I have this is the first time I told you about it. So I'm trying to catch up on that actually and make a little side money, which
I
isn't
like it.
isn't a ton, but it's something I'm
Hey,
passionate about. So
well, and if
I
you
love it.
like it and it's fun for you, well, who cares
Yeah,
if it's a ton of money? Like it's just something that you enjoy doing with your
yeah.
free time.
No, I love it. I got stickers coming out, so that's why I asked you about the sticker
Ah,
pricing. So
that's a
I've got
yeah, yeah.
stickers. I'll be sending you some. I'll be putting some up on the shop. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
if you guys like to fly fish, let me know.
There you have it. I love
Yeah,
it. Um, as you well know, we are a spring sports family. We have track meets, we have soccer, we
yeah.
have ballet. My son is in a soccer tournament in Omaha right now with my wife. I'm here with my daughter because she had a soccer game yesterday. Incidentally, he got what I call the chase trifecta. He got a goal, assist, and a yellow card all in the same game. So,
Nice,
um,
nice.
I'm going to start branding that because he's really good at all three of those things.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's full on kids sports season. We are flying multiple places a time a night. We're bouncing back and forth between. He's starting high school in this fall, and he's already
yeah,
starting weights and conditioning with his high school now to
yeah.
like get accustomed. And the football coach asked me, he doesn't play football at all, but the football coach literally asked me yesterday if he'd be interested in punting for the high school team because they don't have a punter. I said, you can ask him. I don't think he's ever
Yeah,
done it before, but
yeah.
so, man, kids sports, we're knee deep.
You're
And
going.
if
Yeah,
I don't think that unless I structured my business the way that I have, that we could keep up, quite frankly, because,
yeah.
and shout out to those that do, because if you have a regular 9 to 5 with set hours or even farther along or even normal athletic trainers hours where you have long nights, like kudos to everybody out there making it happen because this is crazy town
It's tough.
having
Yeah,
a 14-year-old and just very soon to be 11-year-old involved in absolutely everything.
yeah.
So that's what we got going on. But I think that's a great place to land a plane on a Sunday, Ev. It took us a little bit to get this episode out, but we got her done, man. Just like
No,
true
yeah.
athletic trainers and sports medicine
That's
professionals
right.
do. Listen, thank you to everybody for all the comments, the likes, the subscribes, the follows, all of it. Don't tell one person, tell two people about it. Let's keep spreading the word. Let's keep growing this thing. We're doing a great job lately.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your comments, thesportsmedbros@gmail.com or all the socials. We're out there. Please hit us up. Let us know. I will tell you, I'm looking at my calendar here on the wall in my office. I have 3 guests at least lined up for the rest of the summer.
It's a beautiful
One will
thing.
come in next week. Very, very cool guest coming up. I think we'll have a lot to share with our combined experiences as well. But we're looking forward to this. If you have anybody that you'd like us to talk to, please reach out and I will get them on the schedule. But thank you once again for everybody. Ev, any parting shots for this Sunday matinee episode?
No, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday. By the way, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the show. It is WrestleMania Sunday, by the way. So
Ah,
please, our good friend Larry Heck is very busy today. So please tune in if you can. ESPN Unlimited,
I
WrestleMania Sunday.
I love Larry. Larry's a phenomenal person. He's a great guy, friend of the program.
Yes.
Very busy today, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know that I've ever watched a WrestleMania live.
Well, you should tune in
I
because
tried to
it's,
get my kids into wrestling. They just don't have, they have less than zero interest. And like
yeah.
my son will say, it's so fake and it's so acting, it's so cheesy. I go, yeah, that's the whole draw of it.
Yeah.
And he, no, so it's like a me thing. And I watch the highlights on Instagram or YouTube or
Yeah.
something.
No, it's the Super Bowl of pro wrestling. So
Where
if
is
you're
it this year?
Vegas, Allegiant
Oh
Stadium,
God.
Las Vegas. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Has it ever
So
been in Vegas before?
yeah, last year,
Oh, really?
same
So
thing.
back to
Yeah,
back.
back
Wow.
to back. Yep. It will be in Indy here in a few years. So
Oh,
hopefully we will be doing a live show from Lucas Oil.
Larry
WrestleMania
Heck,
live show.
when you listen to this episode next week, we would like to report live from the
Yes,
athletic training room for WrestleMania. So we're
in
just
the
putting that out
bowels
there.
of Lucas Oil. Yep,
Yep. All
love it.
right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have any parting shots for the people?
Nope. Have a good rest of your Sunday and have a good week, folks.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you.